get started. Bam 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 bam. Da 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 da. Ah da 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 da. Ah da 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 da. Ah da 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 da. Da 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 da. Ah da 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 da. Ay da 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 da. Ay da 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 da. Da 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 da. Ay da da da. Ay da 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 da. Ah da 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 da. Ah da 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 da. Ah da 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 da. Ah da 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 da. Ah da 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 da. Ah da 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 da. Da 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 da. Ah da 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 da. Ay da 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 da. Ah da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Ay da da da. Da da da. Ay da 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 ma. Da 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 ma. Da 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 da. Ay da da da. Da 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 ma. Da 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 da. Ah da 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 da. Ah da 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 da. Bam 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 bam. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Ah ay da 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 da. Ah da 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 da. Ay da 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 da. Ay da 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 da. Boker Tov. Does everyone have a copy? Did everyone get copies? Not yet. Who else is missing? Mordechai? Yesh Maspik, Yesh Maspik. Yesh Maspik. Okay. We have something really beautiful to look at today, to learn, to get it ready for Chanukah, this amazing yontiv approaching us tonight. What we're going to do is see something beautiful from here, from this sefer. Now, we used to learn this sefer a lot on regarding like Tikkun Amidos and everything. This Rav Yaakov Meir Shechter. It's the whole sefer on Chanukah. It's Gan Eden. To just sit with by the Nerot every night with this sefer. I did it last year. It was a different type of Chanukah. So very, very much kedai. Whoever doesn't have the sefer. Truth is, I don't know if any of you, besides you, Eli, I don't know if anyone else has the sefer. We should try to see if we can get a bunch. They have it in the bookstore in Hashem, other places. We're going to see something small from Rabbi Yaakov Meir Shechter, but before we do that, we're going to go into Rebbe Nachman himself to see something. And there, who else needs? David? Good morning, and Yasher Koach. It was beautiful. It was sweet. It was just right. We have more. We have more.
Good soup.
Good soups. You're insulting him. This thing's soup. It was amazing. Here, who else needs? Okay. You all know that we speak about gratitude all the time. And whenever we ask ourselves, what is our alignment? What puts us in check? And what kind of centers us and helps us just get a grip? Just to get a grip. So we've always come back to this word of gratitude. We've always come back to this todah. And we've always felt true and authentic with saying thank you and living in a state of gratitude seems to be just the healthiest and most productive and most refined state of living. This inyan of hoda'ah, of todah. We start our days by saying the first word a Jew says in the morning is thank you. It's that one word that's so repetitive in Shmona Esrei with modim, both in Chazayas Hashatz and modim derabanan. And throughout it, obviously, Nesach Sfart starts the davening by saying Hodu Hashem Kiru Bishmo. This word of hoda'ah, of being thankful. of living in gratitude. But I want to go a little bit deeper into this because this is what the piece of today is going to be all about. What does living in a state of gratitude, what else does it do to you? What else does it do to us?
Consciousness. Creates consciousness.
Creates consciousness. What else?
I don't know necessarily what it does for us, but I know it's an essential part that we call it a Yehudim, just from Yehudah. Leah says about when she names Yehudah, Hapam Odeh Hashem. Like,
so you're saying good. So what does it do? So say.
I guess it expresses our mahut. Like that's what we're about. Yehudim, we are programmed to think.
Right.
It's what we're named to do.
That's really strong. It's being in a state of gratitude makes us connect to who we are in our innocence by being Yehudim. Okay, what else?
Exercising bittul.
Exercising bittul. Yeah, very strong.
It opens you up to the rest of the world. If you feel grateful instead of sheltered, then you can automatically connect.
It turns you from a taker into a giver.
Absolutely. I give thanks. I give thanks. It's interesting. We say that more. In Hebrew, you don't really say that, right? I give thanks. Ani noten toda. In English, it's a very big thing. I give thanks. Huh?
You do.
You don't say I'm giving thanks. I'm thanking, but giving thanks is active.
You say Zabali.
Yeah. You say on that, right? Lo bali. Lo bali. What's that? The bali, the lo bali. It's true. Okay, so now let's lemaisa like this. We have 8 days right now, and the word light is just it's too like loosely used, and it's too like I don't know how to say it. It's too like neutral, or it's too like anyone that wants to say anything nice about Chanukah. There should be more light in the world. Of course, there should be more light in the world. You don't need Chanukah to tell you there should be more light in the world. Chanukah is the time that we bring light into the world. You know, it's amazing. If 95% of Jews knew why we celebrate Chanukah, they'd stop celebrating Chanukah. The holiday of Chanukah had very little to do with light in the world. What's Ramat Raziel, Yoniberg?
It's named after David Raziel.
Who's David Raziel?
He was the leader of the Irgun, no?
What did he do in his life that there's
He was not there. He was a stern gang, right?
He was whatever.
He was the Irgun.
Whatever.
Like the King David.
Correct. Whatever he wasn't walking around Friday afternoons giving out Shabbos candles to women.
No.
Right. Like a lot of the things that if we understood, Chanukah is a very interesting one. Chanukah became so big in the world, but no one realizes like what the Chashmonaim really did. Like the Pseder, the Nespach Hashem was this Indian from Isarusa Dila 8. Like that was just like a matnas chinam from above, right? But what we did, Chanukah is the least peaceful holiday that there is. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Light, yeah, light. It's all about light, spreading light. 8 nights of light, and it's nice to say that, and it's sweet that that's what it's become. But there's something much more like pnimi, I would say, than just being able to say it's days of light, nights of light. And that is the avoda of Chanukah. What is the avoda of Chanukah? Tell me the halachic avoda of Chanukah. The avoda. What's the avoda? What are you supposed to do? Adlaka. Huh? You could say that's what it resembles, or that's what it stands for. But what am I supposed to do? Like to make sure I'm a from Yid on Chanukah. Well, to make sure I'm a from Yid on Chanukah, what do I have to do? Light a candle. The B'Sum Enisa is hopefully what I cause. I'm just speaking. I'm going to the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. But that would seem to be like that means that there's 8 days that now they gave us off with our children too, right? And we fill it up with what? Like a half-hour bracket at like 5 p.m. That means there's what it's really telling is that there's an avoda. There's a strong avodat alev, avodat nefesh that should be taking place during Chanukah. And we need to understand what that really means. And in order to understand what that means, you have to understand what being thankful means. Why? Because these are the days to understand what it means to live in gratitude. And that's a big avoda. It's much more bigger than just saying, I'm thankful. I give thanks. It's a lot going inside. So the piece we're going to see by Rav Yaakov Meir is obviously based in Likutey Moharan, Tinyana base. It's the first makor you have in front of you. Rebbe Nachman says like this. Yemei Chanukah, hem Yemei hoda'ah. I'm sure the Chavre that learned with Tzvi saw this last year with him. Do you remember this, Yossi?
I can use a little.
Okay. Then it's just for you. Yemei Chanukah hem Yemei hoda'ah. The days of Chanukah are days of giving thanks, of being thankful. K'moshe Kosov, like we say, V'kavu shmonas Yemei Chanukah elu lehodos ulehalel. When do we say this? This is in the Ala Nisim. That the days of Chanukah were established not for Pirsumei Nisa. That's not what we say. That's not what we say. We say the days of Chanukah were established V'kavu shmonat Yemei Chanukah elu. For what purpose did Chazal institute these 8 days of Chanukah? Lehodot ulehalel. To be in a state of giving thanks. That's what Chanukah was established for. Now, why do I need Chazal to come and establish for me a time to give thanks? Why is that? Like, thank you, Chazal. I'm good. I'm okay. Something much deeper going on over here. So Rebbe Nachman says, V'yemei hoda'ah ze bechinas sha'ashua olam haba. You know what a sha'ashua is? Like a toy, like a play, like a game, like gan sha'ashuim, right? Like a park. Huh? Ben yakir li Ephraim im yeled sha'ashuim. Ki ze ikar sha'ashua olam haba lehodos ulehalel lishmo hagadol yisbarach. Ulehakir also Yisbarach. He's saying something amazing over here. He's saying we always wonder what Olam Haba is all about. He's saying the pleasure of Olam Haba is that we're going to be living in a state of giving thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Our neshamas are going to be in a state of giving thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He says that's Ikar Sha'ashua Olam Haba. You want to know what they play on Shabbos afternoon in Olam Haba? It's not risk. It's like, I don't know, whatever is there a game called Thank You? Do we have a game called Thank You? I don't know, you guys have it in your house, no? On Friday nights. My daughter started it this Shabbos, and so inspired.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
I have to tell you, a beautiful thing. My daughters, we were at the Sausons a few weeks ago for lunch, and there's a box they have by their Shabbos, you can say, they have a box by the Shabbos table, and there's all these ptakim, there's all these notes that are in the box that are put into the box during the week by everyone in the house that just have nekudos tovos to say or things they're thankful for.
Yeah.
So my daughters saw that we got so. The truth is, my wife and I thought it'd be a beautiful thing to implement, and we never told the girls to do it. But this Shabbos, they came to the table and like, okay, each came with boxes to the Shabbos table Friday night, and. They were embarrassed because Joe and Jonah, the Brooks, were over for Friday night dinner. So they went to like a side room and they pulled out the ptakim and read to each other what they're thankful for each other. And then they emptied it out and now they're filling it in again for the next week. So I'm saving all of these. Yeah, of course. Oh, I'm going to save them for times of need as well, not just like when I'm 30 years from now when I want to cry over, like during the week we're gonna remember what you said about your sister, That's what it's for. It's not like to get nachas in 40 years. It drives something out of you. Rebbe Nachman says, like those moments, you see that box? That's Ikar Sha'ashua Olam Haba. That is what goes on in Shemayim. Now, Rebbe Nachman is known for saying some mamish, far out bombs of chidushim, and the skeptic Litvish Yid in us is like, that's why I'm not into Breslov. That's what he's saying. And then he's going to show you in about a second how you're an idiot because that's really what Chazal is saying. So, I wasn't talking to anybody here, God forbid, right? Just the inner guy in me, right? This he says, third line, Ulehakir also Yisbarach, to get to know Hashem, you get to know the Ribono Shalom by giving thanks. She'al yidei zeh smuchim ukrovim elav Yisbarach. By living in a state of gratitude, you are closest to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ki chol ma sheyodinu makirin oso Yisbarach b'yoseh, smuchin elav b'yoseh. The more you get to know the Ribono Shalom, the closer you are to the Ribono Shalom. And what is he basing all this on? Ki sha'ar kol hadvarim yitbatlu la'atid kulam In the future, all the mishigas, chit-chat box, everything that's going on in our minds and in our nefesh and our consciousness, all of that, Rebbe Nachman says, is going to lead batel, is going to be nullified in Olam Haba. Besides one thing, bivchinas, kol ha-korbanos betelim. Chazal tell us, is the Midrash says, all the korbanos in the future will be mevutal. Chutz mi korban toda. Besides the korban of thanksgiving. That's what's going to be. All the korbanos are going to be batal, besides, bless you, besides korban toda. Yeah.
I'm saying not that all of the mizmors are going to be batal, except for mizmor side also.
Very good. Shelo yishe'er la'atid. There will be anything left in the future. Rak bechinas toda vehoda'ah. Lehodos u'lahalil v'ladas also yizbarach. All that's going to be left in the future is the aspect of saying thank you. Now, hoda'ah, it's a very interesting word in Hebrew, because hoda'ah does not just mean to be thankful. What else does it mean? Admission. I mean, modeh al ha'emet. We say that in the morning too. I admit. So what does admission have to do with this? What does a person have to be in a state of admission? What are you modeh on?
Not doing anything.
Yeah, everything, exactly. He says, the combination of these two things is what brings a person closest to the Rebbe Nachman. Now that's going to be the state of our reality in the next world. But Rebbe Nachman says, why do you have? Basically, what he's telling us is there's a fixed time that Chazal said that for 8 days you go into there, you go into what's going to be, and that's Chanukah.
Sounds a lot like what Dov was saying. This is like two big, strong aspects of bittul.
Yeah.
Being grateful.
Yeah.
And then admitting, like, I am what I am.
No.
I'm not doing it.
Absolutely.
You can be thankful to somebody in a legit way unless you admit and acknowledge that person is right. If you thank somebody and it's like nothing, but if you really admit that person did something for you, say thank you, it means something to Hashem also. It's great to say thank you Hashem, but to really say thank you to Hashem, it needs to be with an admission and acknowledgement that He's the master of the world and gave you everything. Otherwise, it's empty.
What does it take to get to that place? That's the Inyan. What you just said. You jumped 20 minutes forward, but it's good. No, don't be sorry. The woman cheers soon. It's good. It's. We're going to get back to that in a second.
This opens up the Rambam wide open. I mean, it takes the whole Rambam's notion of knowledge of Hashem, and it just expands it.
How so?
Right? Because what it does, this is the ikar of everything for the Rambam is knowledge of Hashem. So why? What? Right? And how do you get there? Right? Through Torah and through looking at nature and through, right? So now we understand what the Rambam's really talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
And he says, and he ends off here saying, we have this very famous line describing times of Mashiach. We say this line during Tashlich. Ki mala haaretz de'as Hashem kamayim layam achasim. What describe the state of mind, the state of the world in times of Mashiach? There will be da'as that will fill the land, fill the world. Meaning there'll be such an expanse. We spoke about this in Hadich. Remember, we spoke about this in Hadich in the morning of Shir. There's going to be such a thing called harchavas hadas, expansiveness of the mind, of the dat, of knowing Hashem. The more you know Hashem, the closer you are to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Remember, we said that's one of the reasons why Rav Kook says there won't be
Also
korbanos, bichlal. Why does Rav Kook say it won't be korbanos at all? He says because even the animals will have das. And if animals have das, then you can't makriv them. Which is a pretty far out there. It's a, what's that? I'm sorry?
Go to Harvey's now.
Good, right. If we really believed in the coming, you believe in Mashiach coming? I mamash believe it. Really? When was the last time you were at Harvey's? 3 months ago. No, you know. When are you planning on going? What's that?
Any moment it could just.
Yeah. That's why we're Jeff's Chassidim in LA, because we know it's not going to be for too much longer. Shezeh kol shashua olam haba. This is all the pleasure of the next world. This inyan of hoda'ah. This inyan of thankfulness. This is what da'as means. The more you know the Rebbe Nachman, then the more you are living in a constant state of bittul, the more you're modeh, the more that's really a real thing in your life, and not because you think it's the proper thing to say thank you. My mommy told me to always, That's really what it is. Okay, so One more thing about Olam Haba. Ubechinas Toda, Sheu Shashua Olam Haba, Ze Bechinas Halachas. Rebbe Nachman says halacha, it has to do also with the Shashua of Olam Haba. Ki ha'alachot shezochim lilmod. Halacha that you merit learning, bifrat mi shezochim lechadesh bahem. Specifically someone who merits to become innovative and have a chiddush when it comes to halacha. It is not talking about making up new halachas. He's just talking, I want to make sure when he says mechadish b'hem, that you could have a chidush Torah based on halacha. Bivchinas, this is what we say every single morning in shul. Kol hashoneh halachos b'chol yom muftach lo shu ben olam haba. That every person that learns halacha every single day, it's promised to him that he is a ben olam haba. Why? Ki kshenischadesh halacha, when either you learn a new halacha or you have a chiddush on a halacha, what happens to you? Nischadesh seichel v'yediyah. Your mind, your knowledge becomes renewed again. V'hadas hu ikar shashu olam haba. And das is what Olam Haba is all about. Now, let's try to bring this down to our terms. This is going to be a little bit scary for some of us, okay? I'm putting it out there already. Many of us have been from for many years. Has there been any hischadshus hadas in our learning? So there are, Baruch Hashem, we have an active base midrash, and it's. I'm not too nervous about asking this question here, but there are many places of that. How do I say this lightly? There's no hischadshus hadas. There's no harchavas hadas. There's no ikar shashua olam haba. Because the goal was to be religious. The goal is to be religious. But here he's saying our goal is to bring heaven down into earth a little bit. And how do you bring heaven down into earth? Meaning, how do you bring Olam Haba down into here? Well, if I know a little bit what Olam Haba is all about. And Olam Haba is all about giving thanks to the Rebbe Nosson. But in order to give thanks to the Rebbe Nosson, I have to have da'at. How do I get da'at in this world? Learning. Specifically halacha. Now, why does Reb Nachman say this? Follow me with the Rashi Tevis in a few seconds. Mizmor letoda. How do I say thank you to Hashem? Hariu Lashem kol haaretz. Right? That's what we say every morning. Hariu. What's hariu? It's a lashon of simcha, right? Hariu Lashem kol haaretz. How do you get everyone to mamish be meriah for Hashem, the whole land? What's Rashi Tevis? Hariu Lashem kol haaretz? Halacha. So Reb Nachman says, Mizmor lesod, again, how do I give thanks? Hariu Lashem kol haaretz. How do I meriah Lashem kol haaretz? I learn halacha. And I add on to my knowledge, that which I already thought I knew, bless you, I add on to it. Like, what a chiyus we had this morning when we learned one thing in the Mishnah Berurah this morning. We learned one thing in the Mechaber this morning about the lighting of what you could do with shemen once the time that it was used for was already lit. So if you didn't know it before, you have such a harchavas hadas, you have more das about Hashem's ratzon, about what you could do with oil after it was lit for half an hour. Now, if you didn't know it before, you have this added piece of information, it gives you a lot of simcha. And if you knew it already, but now you learn it again, you could go into a little bit of a chiddush mode. No matter what way you look at it, when you learn halacha, even if it's something that you know, it adds on to your connection to what life is going to be like when in the place that the neshama lives eternally. So these two inyanim are very, very important. Reb Nachman says, and connecting to what you said, Noach, really, what's Torah Sheba'al Peh? It's harchavas hadas. It's really what it is. So these days of Chanukah, you don't have to go and build a sukkah. You don't have to go and clean your house for chametz. You don't have to buy a shofar. You don't have to fast. You don't have to eat latkes or sufganiyot. There's no chiyuv there. There's, in some houses maybe, but there's no chiyuv. What is the inyan? Listen, even in the lashon of what we say, Haneras Halalu, let's go through it. Haneras Halalu anu madlikim al anisim al niflas v'atshuz v'chalash shasit l'mitzvah. We say, Ve'ein lanu rishus lishtamish bahem ela lirosan bilvad kedei what? Lehodu sulal l'shimcha agada. Like we make that statement by the neiros as well, that Chazal gave us a time, yes, ein ora zu Torah, and you can meditate on the lights, v'chulei, and that's all very holy and important. But what it really is when you're standing by the lights, it's stopping for a second and getting perspective. What is this world all about? If this world is just a prosdor for the next world, which means it's just a hallway to the next world, and I'm supposed to connect myself to what's real in Olam Ha'emet, how do I bring more emet into this world? Well, what's the emet going to be like in the next world? It's going to be living in a state of thankfulness and having the expansiveness of my dat. Oh, you know what? I could do that right now as well. And I go inside myself, and then I start realizing what the tefillah start becoming. What usually causes me to thank the Rebbe Nachman? What usually causes me to be thankful?
Good things.
Good things.
Being aware of things.
Being aware of good things. You said consciousness. Being aware of good things usually will drive me to be thankful to the Rebbe Nachman. Jump to the bottom. Reb Nosson is in a letter to his son, Rabbi Yitzchak. Rabbi Nachman says like this: "Shebe'et she'over ha'arpatkaot ve'abilbulim, אי אפשר לראות חסדי Hashem." When a person is going through, when he says harpatka'ah, he doesn't mean a fun adventure. He means like when your soul is being taken on a ride and you can't get a grip. Va'abilbulim, confusions, and you can't say chasdei Hashem. You can't see the chesed of Hashem. רק אחר כך, כשמרחיב קצת, when you go a little bit more expansiveness, when you widen your field of vision, אז רואים נפלאות חסדי Hashem. Then you see the wonders of the chesed of Kadosh Baruch Hu. What is Reb Nosson saying here? It's a simple thing. When you're stuck in the midst of a storm, it's very hard to be makir tov. It's like we're told, like, whatever, just be thankful. Just start saying thank you, thank you, thank you. But that's not what you're talking about, David. You're saying not just to say thank you for all the things that I have in my life while my life's in a storm, but to feel the thanks of all the things I have in my life when my life is in a storm. That's the level we're aiming towards. So Reb Nosson says usually people only go to the thanks when they have some kind of an expansiveness of their field of vision, when they're out of it. Now he says, "Kvar dibarti mizeh im admor zal be'atzmo," meaning he's telling his son, by the way, I already spoke about this with Rebbe Nachman. It's pretty cool, right? You know, this is a few years after Rebbe Nachman is like, I just want you to know, like what we're talking about. I already spoke about this with the Rebbe. ואמר לי שיתחזק האדם דווקא בעץ הדחק הגדול למצוא איזה הרחבה. Rebbe Nachman says, you know what real avodas halev is? It's not enough to know that when I'm out of this, I'll be able to realize what the chesed is. It's somehow in it, when you're in it, to be adamant on being able to be makir tov for real. That is the real deal. By most of us, when we go through the storm, we're able to be thankful. That's not really the ikar avodas halev. The ikar avodas halev is when you're in it, to be able to say, can I say thank you now, and feel it.
So you're talking about like a Rabbi Akiva level optimism, like when you see the Shalom running around, you say, oh, I know that the Nebuah is going to be good. Is that what he's talking
Could
about?
be.
Or is he talking about somehow finding the good in the actual Shalom running around in Kodesh Kodashim? Like, is he talking about like?
He's talking about things will be good, or that this is good.
That's what I'm asking.
Forget about defining good or not good. I'm talking about the feeling expression of the heart to be able to say thank you. So it's a little bit, you understand? I'm not sure if he's saying about the avoda is to define what's good and what's not good. It's more how do I come to a place of hakarat tov while I'm in the storm for real and feeling it.
So I'm not saying Baruch Dan Hamet like with a smile on your face when something bad is happening.
Again, you're defining things good or bad. I'm talking about thankfulness. Yeah, but you hear the difference.
Think the Berditcheva. Think of Levi Yitzchak.
Yeah.
They'll look at our situation and they'll say, "Wow, look how amazing the Yidden are. They're doing all these things." And to you, you would label that bad, or you would think that that's bad. You would say, "Look, this guy's preparing Erev Yom Kippur. What was the story?" Yeah, whatever. I can't remember right now.
The guy in the morning that he's harnessing his horses while he has his talis and tefillin on.
Okay, that's a good example too. So the bottom line is he says, look how amazing things are right? Because he sees it that way. It's not
his
good or
perspective.
bad. It's not.
I also think that Rebbe Nachman he's maybe also talking about how you react to the situation. So if you see something bad happening, your choice is to become a victim of that. Your choice is to get angry at God or be like, okay, fine, I don't believe in God anymore because this is just too much. Rebbe Nachman's saying how you to be grateful that maybe if your reaction is like, Hashem, help us right now, help us, and then having the gratitude to say, wow, I'm really grateful that I turn to Hashem and I pray to Hashem to ask for deliverance and not give up on Hashem and not give up on the situation, but that gratitude of just that I'm remaining in relationship with Hashem in spite of
Outcome plays no role in the state that Rebbe Nachman's speaking about over here.
Means like a game? So like
Yeah.
something bad is happening in the game.
It's a game. It's right. I'm in the middle of a game.
I'm going to thank Hashem right now for this bad thing with the full knowledge and cognizance that this is good. Right?
No.
No, that this is good in and of itself.
You saying this is good is labeling something good or bad. That's not. There's time to do those kind of Torahs. Say everything you said until that last sentence. I'm part of this game. The game here is to be able to be thankful to Hashem that I realize this is from Him and this is part of our relationship. That's much deeper.
Good.
It's irrelevant. That doesn't matter at that
I can
moment.
understand why the bad thing don't put that label there because that's.
What's good? It's good that I'm in a relationship with Hashem. That this snake is biting my ankle right now, it's not exactly a good and pleasant feeling. But not awesome. But realizing that it is from Hashem, and it keeps me involved.
If Yosef was reading the Parsha, like we're reading it now, and he sees that he's in the dungeon after all this, and then that's gonna bring him up to where he's gonna be. He's gonna say that's good in and of itself.
Let's go to a closer example to our modern times, the Eish Kodesh. He's in the ghetto. He's writing what he's writing. I don't think any of us, if we could have had an opportunity, or even the Rebbe himself would say, those moments of when I was crying in that bunker in the ghetto, Motzei Shabbos, saying the deepest Torahs in the world, it brought me to a state of feeling that this is good. He actually said that this is worse than the Churban Bayis Sheni. That's not a definition as good. What part of it is, so to speak, good?
that he didn't give up on God.
That's the Indian.
Even by Korbanos, right? You think Achas still needs to be there. Someone to be able to say sorry. Someone to be able to make a quality judgment one way or the other. Saying,
Interesting. So why is it?
Quality judgments. It's just
because what's Chatas?
Chatas is I made a mistake. It's just appreciation. Once you do the appreciation, you made room for
Very
God.
good.
You acknowledge how small you are and where you're
That's all there's room for in.
But that means that there's no quality judgment on our behalf. We're not saying this is good or this is bad. That's God's job in this place. In our place, it's just to say, I'm small, I'm little, and I'm thankful.
That's pretty good. No? What he said? That's pretty. Ari, do you hear that?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, Ellie?
Shashun is not goal-oriented. Think of dancing, think of playing with, trivial, playing with a yo-yo. It's not a goal-oriented game. It's just dancing. It's just being there. It's just playing. And you're just with God. You're just holding hands and being. You're not.
This is Chanukah. This Reb Nosson was telling his son that Rebbe Nachman said is how a person goes through Olam Haba. It's just this being, and when you can be in being, you're living in a state of the hoda'ah or the halal. What usually causes us to be thankful? Things that are very limiting and not actually not goal-oriented. They are goal-oriented. Outcomes is what usually, and that's not the Indian at all.
I think it's just important. What does the word marchiv mean? רק אחר כך, כשמרחיב קצת, אז רואים נפלאות חסדי השם.
His dot. Zoom out.
בעת הדחק הגדול למצוא איזו הרחבה. I want exactly what is he talking about? What is that?
Did you spend any time in the studio while they were editing the vocals and while they were mixing a song?
A little bit.
So did you ever notice how when you go onto one track and the person's working so hard on one track, up and down, and touch-ups and everything. So what's harchava? Like when you just hear a thing on its own, and you're not sure if you like it or not. That's tzimtzum, right? What's harchava? When the guy takes the mouse, and he suddenly, Mendi porno, he showed me this, and then Like Mendy gave me the biggest shir on Hashgacha. He's like, this is the way you and I think and feel. And we were on one track. Then he goes out and he shows me this 37 tracks on a album, on a track, all working in unison, in perfect harmony. Our chava is seeing a bigger picture and realizing that you're usually stuck in something small. That's the chak, the chuk. Our chava is like when I wake up in the morning and I'm in my own bad place. But when Hashem allows me to see a little bit more of a bigger picture, that a lot of other pieces here are part of this puzzle that are actually building something beautiful. What does that bring me to a place of? Two places. Bittul and hoda'ah. That forms da'at in this world. That forms da'at. Always. I don't think you ever left, but...
You spoke about expansiveness of the mind, and not I'm advancing it 2 weddings here, because it's really the same wedding, but Balatani gives us things to think about that can literally, Rabbi Shlomo spoke about ideas that don't take up space in your mind, but expand the space in your mind. And if you can find these things and go through some of these exercises and just think about them, and return to them, your mind gets bigger and more expansive, and that allows you to have the headspace to be in control in these moments.
I think that'd be a beautiful avoda for Adlakas Nehas. I think that'd be a wonderful thing that each person took on during Adlakat Nerot, what David just said. The Alter Rebbe says, we were learning in Hadich, that the Alter Rebbe says there are basically 2 types of thoughts a person has. Thoughts that consume space and thoughts that create more space. Only you know what does what to you. Right? Think about it. How many things do you have in your mind that you think about that just clog up your mind? But the point is not to be a person that stops thinking, because that's Hashem gave us machshava. Das is is a wondrous thing. So it must be, the Alter Rebbe says, it doesn't say we're like machadishing. The Alter Rebbe is saying that it must be that there is a method that has to be that the breathing that goes on in the mind is not there to have a breath that's like a lot of our thoughts do to our mind. Like a lot of our thoughts, this is what happens to our mind, right?
It's like playing an instrument without breathing.
Correct. No space. Then there are thoughts that the more they go inside, harchava, there's an expanse, just like with the breath and the air, the chamber is here, there's a harchava of the das. Hoda'ah is usually that which brings more space in your life, in your mind, in your thoughts, in your das. Hoda'ah does that. But like what David pushed us for is not just to say thank you, thank you, thank you. It's to feel that which you're thinking, which is a very, very important thing. Now, in the tchak, in the dochak, it's very hard to think that I could ever get out of here. That's all you know. The davening of Chanukah, Ribono Shel Olam, fill me with expansiveness. Fill me with space. Yeah, Tzvi?
So, like 5 years ago, I was in Disney World with my family, and for about 90 seconds on a ride, I was like so terrified because it was shaking me all around, and all I could do was hang on for dear life. And I knew that it was going to be over. But during those 90 seconds, all I could do was hang on. And, afterwards, of course, I said, Baruch Hashem, we survived this. And I knew at the end, and I knew while I was in it, I was going to survive it. But boy, during that time, all I could do was hang on. All I could do was hold my breath. I couldn't breathe either.
Mm-hmm.
Just as little as I could. But so in the middle of whatever harrowing experience a person is experiencing, that's really a time when you want to somehow breathe. But it's really hard to remember that you can't.
Nothing that we ever learn is easy to do or remember. Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, I think the part of the point here is that the more that you bring it into your dot, not that it becomes easy, but the easier it becomes in those moments to remember, because it becomes almost a part of you. It's not a concept anymore. It's your reality. And then it becomes easier.
Did any of you see Chezi go into the mikveh? I thought Chezi was waiting for everyone to leave. That's what I thought, whoever was in the mikveh. I thought he was just waiting for everybody to leave because he like wrapped himself in a towel, stood there in the corner, and he was just pacing and doing his own thing. And then afterwards, Chezi goes in last, I think last. He went in.
It's like waiting.
Very calmly, relaxed. Not Benny. Relaxed. He doesn't have Ukrainian, Siberian blood. Chezi has Bnei Brak blood. Chezi goes in. He toiveled, I don't know, I think 11 times, but it was...
14.
Chezi was 14? Yeah, 14, נכון. And he's like, מה חשבת שאני עשיתי שם? אני פשוט עבדתי על הנשימות שלי. וכשאתה עובד על הנשימות שלך, אתה יכול, זה פשוט, זה לא בעיה בכלל. Meaning he was saying, I was working on my breathing for about, he probably had 15 minutes, maybe even more, 20 minutes of working on his breathing, working on his, why? Because that freezing water causes everything to contract, to feel like you can't breathe. But when you work on that place of making more space, then when you go into a dachak, you remember how your body's already attuned to how to not fall into this stress mode. So we have 8 days of in the middle of a freezing mikvah, which is, kivyachol, the winter. Dafka, where Chazal say, now's the time to work on something that you're going to need when you leave the Neiros, when you leave the house. Chanukah is Ishu Beisel. You're in the house, Shalom Bayit, beautiful. Chanukah is what you do afterwards. And it's to recognize the miracles that happen in your life, to recognize them on a much deeper level. So to the few minutes that we have left, go to the middle of Ayin Aleph, right? In the middle of Ayin Aleph, Daf Ayin Aleph. This is Rav Yaakov Meir, who I miss learning him so much. His Torah is really, bless you, before we were learning the PSS, Rav Yaakov Meir Shechter really brought us together. His Torah, specifically the shiurim we had of his on Anava, was like months and months of learning Anava from Mamish, a person who embodies that Midah. How many of you have been with him when we went to Rav Yaakov Meir? Oh, wow, we have to work on it. Only half the chevra in the room. Toby, you were there the first time?
Both times.
Both times you were there? You guys came, I remember, yeah.
There's a picture where he went to the Nachman.
By Chaim, sure. Reb Yaakov Meir says like this, Hava Nisbonin, B'Torah al Chanukah. Let's look at the Torah, Rebbe Nachman's Torah al Chanukah, which we just did right now. Meva'erdi Rabbeinu Inyan ha'odah. Rabbi Nachman explains the concept of gratitude. She'ine ha'adam chai beha'alama atzuma b'zeh ha'olam. In this world, generally, man lives in a state of ha'alama. That comes from the word ne'elam. What is ne'elam? Hidden, disappeared. In the Hasidic Sfarim, they speak about, that's really what this whole world is. Olam is milashon ne'elam. This world, olam, world, is really connected in its mahut to the world, to the word ne'elam. V'gam ka'asher metivin lo milamala. And even when they do good for you from above, like even when good things happen to us in our lives, this is the saddest thing in the world. Eino zoche liras be'enav betuv Hashem u'lehodos lo al kach. What the hardest thing about this world is that when good things happen to us, we're not privileged to see the goodness of Hashem, which would lead us to a state of being thankful. That is the pain of this world.
But that happens all the time.
Legamra.
Just the other day, just like a lot of harpatzkaot. And Ari was saying, what happens if we just went blind right now? We wouldn't be able to see all of these views that are around us. It's like that. It's the Netiv Lana that we have eyes, Netiv Lana that our children are alive and healthy. It's like all the time.
Which means, it doesn't, not just that you don't see it, but it doesn't lead you to this expansiveness, which would be living in a state of gratitude. That's what this world, that's the ha'alama of this world, the hiddenness of this world. Like it says in Gemara Nida, Ein Baal Hanes Makir Benisa. It's a statement in Chazal that the person that a miracle happens to him, he's usually the last one to realize that a miracle happened to him, even though it's filled with miracles all the time. Be'od shekodem shenitzrach ha'adam lenes. Before a person needed a miracle, harehu sharui bechoser eitzah ve'ino yodea le'echa nifne. person can be in a state that he has no idea, he's situated in a place of choser etzah. He has no advice, he has no idea what to do. He has no idea what road to take. God was with you. And he took you out of your crisis. Which means, and he placed you in a state of light, and now you know what to do. It's like he totally forgot how he got to a state of clarity to make a good decision. A person forgets who opened up for him the possibility to leave that darkness into light. That's olam, that's the world, that's what happens in this world. It's so dangerous.
It's like that old joke about the guy looking for a parking spot.
Yeah. How much?
God, if you give me, if you let me find a parking spot now, I'll give this and stuff, I'll do that and stuff, and he's davening, and finally someone pulls out and goes, oh, never mind, God, I got it.
I could hear, you know why I could hear that and laugh all the time? Because it's mamish the story of my life. Not with parking spots, just with life, with life in general. Like, that's really our lives, all the time. So I want to get out of that state, So I hate, that is not a world, that is not a life I want to live. So what is Rav Yaakov Meir saying, that Rebbe Nachman is telling us? Ke'etzah lekach, as an advice for this, Kotev Rabbeinu, tzarich ha'adam liftoach et piv. As an advice, what does man have to do? Open up your mouth. And what do you choose to do? Lemal'o u'leha'iro b'divrei hoda'ah leborei olam. Fill your mouth with words of thankfulness and gratitude and appeasement to the Rebbe Nachman. Ha-hoda'ah ahuva lifnei Hashem yisbarach kereach nichayach. Just like that scent and the aroma, the fragrance that the sacrifice brings to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's what hoda'ah does in this world. Remember, part of what made a Yid really happy about bringing a korban was that he could sense that there's a fragrance, there's an aroma going up to Shamayim. And it says, Reach nichoach ishel Hashem. It's a nichoach, which means, I know this is making God happy. Like a person will walk out of the Beis HaMikdash happy because he had the das that what he just did right now actually brought pleasure to God. He knew that. He didn't assume it. He knew it. Yaakov Meir is saying there, Rebbe Nachman, a person in this world, what do you have that causes that same thing? That's all you have. You have hoda'ah that causes that reach nichoach to Hashem. V'kasher ha'adam omer divrei hoda'ah l'Hashem yitbarach. And this is beautiful. When a person says words of praise to Hashem, harei hu machrit et haklipot. It's someone that cuts off the klipas, that which covers up over hashgacha, over how much Hashem loves you, over how much Hashem is part of your life. K'mo she'ita, like it says, and this is going to make our Psukei de Zimra much more chazak now. Like it says, Psukei de Zimra. Why do we start davening with Psukei de Zimra? So you know that one of the halachot of Shabbos is called Zmira, Zomer. What does Zomer mean? It doesn't mean to sing. Zomer means to prune. What's the act of pruning? Cut, trimming. So he says this is brought down in this far, and Psukei de Zimra is not, obviously, Jeremy, this is for you actually, you're a chassid of Psukei de Zimra. As far as I know, and this isn't to knock anybody, especially you, because you did Psukei de Zimra this morning, no one has spent time here singing Psukei de Zimra. So that's not that that's a good thing. But maybe if your kavanas were what Hilchot Zomer, as Zmira is, then that's a good thing. What does he say over here Zmira is? Hem mezamrim et ha'aritzim umachritim et ha'kotzim. You prune, what are you basically doing? You're removing the thorns. Ha'me'akvim me'atfilot mila'alot lemala. Psukei de Zimra is a bunch of psukim that are supposed to me'orer the ahava. How do you me'orer arouse the love, waken the love? By cutting down and removing that which covers up over the feeling of being close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Do you know how much stands between us and being in a state of thankfulness? Everything in this world.
We just said that.
We just said it in a second. Ha'olam gorem le'ha'alama. Psukei de Zimra, psukim of cutting, of pruning, of removing that which stands between me and feeling like I can be in a state of thankfulness is how we start davening every single morning.
It's like a centering of the thoughts before you go into Shemona Esrei.
Nachon. Umamshich Rabbeinu, and Rebbe Nachman continues, Sheleachar kol ziv hashchina shenizke lo la'olam haba. This is later on in the teaching that we didn't do. But he says, after all the ray of Shechina, the light of Shechina, that we merit in the next world, shehu si she'ifas kol nefesh. This is what each one of our souls is really longing for. Lehagia leta'anug, to reach the place of pleasure. Lehenot miziv hashchina. Uv'chen ma tiyeh efo ha'saga shela'achar miken. So what's the state that the nefesh, the neshama, reaches after basking in the light of being close to Hashem? Hoda'ah. You're back to a state of gratitude. Ula'achar ha'hoda'ah yisku shuv la'asagas elokus. Ula'achar ha'asagas elokus shuv tachzor ha'hoda'ah. Rabbi Nachman is saying, up there in the next world, how does it work?
So you've translated Ratzah Hashav to a higher level. Normally Ratzah Hashav is I'm like stuck back in here and then I
go back, right.
But here you're just going up and up.
But it's also Ratzah Hashav, even up there.
Correct, but it's translated to a higher level.
Nimtza sheshleimus tachlis atanug sheyesh b'metzius. He says the most perfect picture of pleasure that you could have in reality of this world and next world, hi ha'hoda'ah, is the state of being thankful, living in gratitude. Now, what we should probably do is find the tefillah that Reb Nosson wrote that's appropriate for this, because remember how Reb Nosson wrote all the tefillahs connected what he learned, what they were taught in Likutey Moharan, because this is something to daven over. It's not just methods and techniques. It's something to daven over. Bless you. There are specific tefillahs that you could say by the menorah, and one of them really would be, Rebbe Shlomo, if we just had to make it up right now on our own, like, okay, I know HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'kavu shmonas mi-Chanukah elu l'hodos u'l'halal. So first of all, Hashem. We've established that the more a person has a das of how much Hashem is running the show, and how much Hashem is in control, the closer you are to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which will lead you to a state of being thankful, and bittul. Hashem, help me learn Torah.
Or bittul, to be thankful.
But in our world, to lead to both things, Hashem, help me learn Torah. Help me learn halacha. Help me have a harchavas hadas. Because in this world, that's what I use, that's what I have in order to reach these states of expansiveness. That's what it is. I can go and jog in the Himalayas and have like very peaceful songs on repeat that help me, breathing exercises. But the soul's breathing is the Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam. That is how our neshama is in this world. Breathe. That's the harchava of the das. Chanukah is Torah Sheba'al Peh. It's the holiday of the Torah Sheba'al Peh. And so all these things are a culmination of leading a person to really be in a state of thankfulness. Now, you all know that when you've incorporated any piece of Torah in your life, how much hoda'ah do we have? Like when you've incorporated a concept of Torah into your life, there's no more beautiful, greater sense of being thankful for that in this world. So we're asking the Rebbe Shlomo, as much as we've taken on and as much as we've learned, we're asking for a tremendous expansiveness, mamish, like in front of the Neiros, in front of that place, because that's what these days were established for. And it's not just by the Neiros. This is what the days of Chanukah should be filled with, not just when you sing Hallel in the morning, but the days itself. We have a lot of time during Chanukah that we're not busy with other mitzvahs that are kosher to Chanukah, to the holiday. There's a lot of time during Chanukah. There's hours and hours of Chanukah to be used for what? This is big avoda. Like to get to the states that you go back onto that ride, right, in Disney World, and you can breathe in there. So that 8 days of being in that mindset is not so simple, but that's the avoda, and that's what we're in. And this is Ikar Shashua. This is the Ikar Shashua Olam Haba. So I give us all a bracha. Take your time by the Neiros tonight. It's for first night specifically. Take your time. Also take your time before with the hachana. If you don't have to work today, with the hachana of the Neiros, everything should be done with real, yishuv adas, quietness, and if the feeling of being thankful is something you're feeling that is more the right thing to do, as opposed to what you're really feeling, say that to Hashem also. You understand? Don't wait to get close to Hashem until you feel the hoda'ah. His brother is to bring up, and his brother is saying, I wish I was the kind of guy that really knows how to live in a state of gratitude. And I know good things are happening to me all the time. I just, I don't sense it. I don't feel it enough. And it's something that I want to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And Hashem says, okay, go learn a bit more. Get more das. Get a wider lens. Get a bigger picture of how the world works. And come back to me tomorrow. And that's what Rebbe Nachman says. In this world, it's about davening, learning, and then davening again. Because that's the rutz of Hashuvah. That's the expanse. That's really what creates the most space that we need in this world to make it through. Alavai, alavai, alavai. That even for 1 minute we should experience real hoda'ah, real thankfulness this Chanukah. Yediantiv. Shekayach, everyone. Shekayach. If I could have it, if you want to hold on to it, it's fine. But if not, I need these back.
In this state.